Hello, I'm CJ Werleman, and in this episode, we expose Israel's effort to sow chaos, violence and division in Western countries while silencing pro-Palestinian voices on YouTube to undermine solidarity for Gaza. But first, please remember to like and subscribe to our show. Now let's get into it. Before we expose Israel's effort to foment civil strife and potentially civil war in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia, I need to share with you details of what is a devastating blow to our weekly program, the CJ Werleman Show. You see, under pressure from the Israeli government, YouTube has unjustifiably demonetized our show in what surely constitutes a naked and brazen attempt to not only silence our voice, but also yours and anyone else who supports the liberation of Palestine from Zionist occupation and genocide.
We'll be talking in this video about CJ Werleman. His channel got banned by YouTube. Now, when I use the word ban, what I really mean is that his channel got demonetized. In fact, his channel got suspended for monetization. And you can see that clearly on the screen. Now, it is equivalent of banning a channel, because if you don't pay the creator, the content creator, then the content creator will not make any content, because it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of manpower. So some people, they hire other stuff. I don't. Therefore, if you are not paying that creator, you are essentially banning him.
Our program has been stripped completely of all advertising revenues, including our YouTube membership program, which means if you are supporting our show via this means, then you are no longer, because we have been totally and completely demonetized due to Israeli government pressure. If you were kindly and generously supporting us via YouTube membership in the past, then we urgently request that you stop what you're doing right now and move your monthly support over to our Patreon page, where you will receive even more access, exclusive content, and other benefits. Because, to be completely frank and honest with you, Israel will ultimately succeed in killing our program and our effort to expose and counter its crimes, along with other injustices in the Muslim world, if we don't receive the necessary support to survive, courtesy of the generosity and support we receive via our members on Patreon. We need your help more than ever to produce more content and pay our editors and researchers. But to be clear, this has not only happened to us, but literally hundreds of other channels who have exposed evidence of Israel's war crimes and crimes against humanity during the past 2 years. As documented in great detail by a major study that found YouTube is bowing to Israeli pressure to demonetize or restrict content creators who criticize Israel's actions in Gaza, while at the same time it allows the dissemination of problematic content that incites hatred and violence against Palestinians, with another study finding that more than 25,000 violations against pro-Palestinian digital content across major platforms, including YouTube. Precisely at the same time, Israel is committing genocide, a genocide that has now claimed the lives of 680,000 Palestinians. Even employees at YouTube's parent company, Google, are protesting against the $1.2 billion partnership signed between the Israeli government and Google.
I'm a Google Cloud software engineer, and I refuse to build technology that powers genocide, apartheid, or surveillance. Project Nimbus puts Palestinian community members in danger. I refuse to build technology that's going to be used for cloud apartheid. No cloud for apartheid. No tech for apartheid. Free Palestine.
Google is complicit in Israeli genocide.
This Zionist orchestrated censorship is also taking place at the same time Israel is weaponizing Islamophobia and Charlie Kirk's assassination to undermine solidarity for Palestine by funding and fueling neo-Nazi and anti-immigrant groups in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia. This is not speculation or conspiracy. Israel's strategy to undermine social cohesion in Western countries was leaked by an insider at the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs to American journalist Ryan Grim on September 6. The study concluded Islamophobia to be the most useful propaganda tool to rehabilitate Israel's global reputation.
Contained quite an interesting document paid for by the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it leaked to us. Effectively, what they recommend is ramping up Islamophobia.
Manipulate Americans to get them to hate and fear Muslims so that the U.S. government will have an easier time helping the Israelis murder Palestinians and steal their property. That's what it's all about.
Get Americans to hate all Muslims so that when Israel kills them and takes their land, you were going to say, well, I mean, what are you going to do? The Muslims are the terrorists. Not the Israelis, but the victims are the terrorists. It has been an overwhelming propaganda campaign to smear Muslims in this country.
This newly launched anti-Islam propaganda campaign is why the Israeli Prime Minister blamed Muslims for the killing of Charlie Kirk, even before the identity of the perpetrator was known to the public or law enforcement officials.
Worldwide problem. The people on the on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra progressives. They often speak about human rights, they speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies, whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or, they try to kill me here too, but they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just...
2 days later, 100,000 far-right racist goons marched through the streets of London, waving Israeli flags, while setting fire to Palestinian flags and inciting hatred and violence against British Muslims and Palestinians.
Finish your power, nation! Rip it up, boys! Yes! And freedom of speech is not compatible. It has to be clear that Islam is our real enemy. We have to get rid of Islam. Islam doesn't belong to Europe. Islam doesn't belong to the UK.
The day prior to this heinously racist scenes in Britain, Elon Musk urged Israeli-funded neo-Nazis to incite civil war in the United Kingdom.
It's going to come to you. You will have no choice. You're in a fundamental situation here where whether you choose violence or not, violence is coming to you. You either fight back or you die. You either fight back or you die. And that's the truth.
Today, Elon, I think the British public are telling the world that they're ready to fight back.
Good. Yes.
Come on, Great Britain.
Elon Musk has not only become a central figure in Israel's propaganda campaign in using his social media platform to tweak X algorithm in favor of pro-Israeli voices, but also he operates essentially as an agent or psyop for the Zionist regime. His support of the English Defence League and its founder Tommy Robertson, seen here wearing t-shirts of the IDF and Mossad, is a long-time recipient of Israel Lobby funding, and tells you exactly who's driving resurgent anti-Muslim hatred in the United Kingdom today.
What's happening in Gaza, and for British right-wing people, and I'm going to tell you something, I've actually cried at some of the comments I've seen. I've actually shed tears, saying how did a British person become so vicious, so inhuman, so insulated from human feeling? And then I think, hold on, and I compose myself, and I say to people, excuse me, how many children have you got? None. Usually none. They're godless reprobates who just hate Muslims. They used to hate blacks. Probably a generation ago they hated the Jews, but now it's the way it is. And anything, it's the dog whistling, it's the EDL effect, it's all that stuff, which was all highly paid for by a certain lobby group.
The objective of this anti-Muslim hatred is clear. Israel's hyper-Islamophobia campaign is funding and mobilizing neo-Nazis and anti-immigrant racists everywhere, including Australia, where they violently confronted pro-Palestine protesters in the country's major cities last week.
From the steps to the sand, a standoff on Australia's most iconic beach. Police, the barricade. Bondi, the backdrop. On the beach, waving Palestinian flags, not Arabs but Jews, rallying against the occupation of Gaza. and a pro-Israel rally to counter. A war of words, which at one point became physical. Officers forced to step in, going ahead despite pushback from Waverley Council.
Israel's martyrdom of Charlie Kirk also drove neo-Nazis out onto the streets of California's Huntington Beach on Sunday. At the same time Israel falsely compares its critics and Palestinians to Nazis, the Israeli government is openly funding far-right European parties with historical ties to Germany's Nazi party, while also not forgetting Israel hired Hitler's henchmen to cleanse Palestine and other Arab populations. Today, Israel has borrowed from Russia's playbook in using social media to divide Americans, in which Russia's goal in spreading misinformation and disinformation is to expand and exploit divisions by attacking the American social fabric where it's most vulnerable, particularly along racial lines. Something which Jewish American academic Norman Finkelstein alluded to earlier last year.
You know the Chinese proverb, be careful what you wish for? Be careful of canceling everybody you disagree with, because that may backfire on you. And it backfired, but here's the difference. The pro-Palestine people, they don't have money behind them. They don't have power behind them. They just have themselves behind them. The other side, the Jewish supremacist billionaire class, they exploited this alleged, in my opinion, completely fabricated and fake fear of Jewish students that their lives were in danger. The Jewish supremacist billionaire class exploited it. And then they had money and they had power behind them. And they did something that was breathtaking in our history.
Israel has spent $49 million on advertising campaigns across YouTube during the past 3 months alone, as part of its strategy to deny and whitewash evidence of Israeli war crimes and to undermine solidarity for its Palestinian victims. Another study found that pro-Israel groups have spent more than 100 times more on advertising on social media platforms during the past 4 weeks compared to groups aligned with Palestinians and Arabs. This is why I urge you to give whatever you can easily afford to independent media organizations that counter and expose Zionist propaganda and false narratives. There's just never been a more urgent time to do so. And it's why we kindly ask that you please support our effort to expose and confront injustices in the Muslim world by becoming a member of this show at patreon.com/CJ Werleman. We can't produce, sustain and grow this show without your help, particularly now because we have been demonetized. But for now, good night, good morning, wherever you are, and stay blessed.